Hey, you guys. I'm Tashina.
I'm Harold Goldberg. I'm Portia.
And today we're going to be talking about a case of Kathrine Knight.
Dum, 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 dum.
She was found guilty February 2000 for killing her partner, John Charles Thomas Pierce. She is presently being held in Silver Waters Women's Correctional Center in New South Wales. She stabbed John, skinned him, and hung his skin on a meat hook. Then she beheaded him, cut his body up, cooked him, and had all the intentions to feeding him to the children. But luckily, the police intervened. This one is a doozy. I think you might need an alcohol beverage for this one.
I told her don't do that shit. I told her don't do it. I told her. She don't listen.
I'm tired.
I need an alcohol beverage. Good day, Governor. Let's go to the pub. Anyways,
Let's get into
back to this crazy bitch.
dark side of humans. Sorry for all the giggling, but I'm tired. She's tired.
And I still got a pat.
Yeah, so just bear with us. So before she was with John, let's talk about some other relationships. Some other relationships that she was in. So before John, why are you laughing?
Because I'm choking. Right.
Okay, before John, there was Stanford Kelly. So Stanford, he was heavy into drinking. His best friend was killed in front of him in a shunting accident. I tried to Google what a shunting meant. I guess when you get rear-ended and it causes you, I don't know. They said it's a rear end, so that's what shunting means. So
y'all know what shunting means? Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, because I thought it was hunting by accident, but it was just shunting, whatever. So he ended up getting a job at the junction in Aberdeen. So he became friends with Kathrine's brother. So that's how he met Kathrine. Mm-hmm. So he ends up losing the job that he got because of his drinking. And he would always like get in fights and stuff. And here come Kathrine helping him with her fist fighting. She was
a beast. She liked to fight.
It was always known in Aberdeen. It's Aberdeen, right? Aberdeen. That if you did something to piss Kathrine off or anything, she would physically threaten you, or she's gonna fight you. Mm-hmm. That's what's gonna happen. So eventually, her and Stanford got married, and they rolled together on her motorcycle. He in the back, drunk off his ass. And they get to the service. They get married. So after the service, Kathrine's mom pulls him to the side and says, "You gotta watch out for that one. She'll fucking kill you." This is what she said about her own daughter. She said, "You better not cheat on her or play her."
How about you warn them ahead of time?
Yes, after you gonna wait till you get married. You better not do none of that. She'll fucking kill you. And what did Kathrine do? She proved her mama's point. Because on their wedding night, she tried to strangle Stanford because he fell asleep during them having sex.
When somebody told her that her parents had sex like 6 times on their wedding night, so she said, "We supposed to have sex 6 times. Stafford only can last 3. And he tapped out.
He's been drinking. He just don't have the stamina.
She beat his ass. And he left her.
Well, not that right now. He still stayed. We'll get to that point. It took a lot. But, so their marriage, of course, was very violent. A prime example is he came home late one night from a dart competition. And heavily pregnant Knight set all his clothes and shoes on fire, then proceeded to hit him in the back of the head with a skillet. He runs out of the...
She does this a lot. Skillet is her friend.
She runs out of the house. He runs out of the house, collapses on neighbor's porch, and he ends up having to get stitches for his severe fractured skull. So after that happened, that's just an example. That's just one example. There's been many examples
She fucked him up.
Of that. So after their first kid was born, he had enough. He left Knight for another woman and he moved to Queensland.
She put the baby on the motherfucking railroad tracks.
So right
to get his ass back.
So right after.
What the fuck? Who puts their own baby on the railroad tracks.
So a couple of weeks after this happened, she was seen pushing the baby in a stroller, hurling. This is what they said, hurling. So this is what I see. Her just hurling the baby in the stroller down the street. So she gets, they take her to St. Emma's Hospital, and she gets diagnosed with postpartum depression. So she's in the hospital for like 3 weeks. She gets out the hospital.
Postpartum, she's nuts.
Then put the baby, the 2-month-old? Yes, 2-month-old baby on the railroad tracks when a train is on its way. Goes into town and just starts physically threatening people, just being loud. Luckily, a guy that was sitting by the train track saved the baby before the train came. So she got taken back to St. Elmo's. The next day, she was able to sign herself out.
She didn't get no jail time.
But how were you able to sign yourself out? You put your baby on a train track. So anyway, they signed herself out. She takes a woman hostage, slices her face with a knife, makes her drive her to Queensland so she can get Kelly back. They stop at a gas station. The lady so happens gets out the car and runs away. This is when Kathrine grabs a 12-year-old boy and holds a knife to him. Cops come, takes the knife away from her, and takes her to jail.
But no, she goes back to the mental facility.
Yeah, the mental facility.
She don't.
No, it's never jail. It's hospital. St. Elmo's Hospital. So when Killick hears this, Stanford, he leaves his woman and runs back to take care of Kathrine.
Because he thinks, she's just got
postpartum and whatever.
She's not really crazy. I need to be there for her. No, the bitch was nuts.
So they end up getting back together. He moves. They finally move. They think maybe if they move environments, they're gonna get it better, whatever. So she finds an employment in Denmore Meats Works, and they welcome their second daughter.
Where them kids at?
And that's what I'm saying. She has a lot. In 1980. So let's talk about Kathrine a little bit, about her past, before we get into what she did to John. So, Kathrine was born October 24th, 1955, making her a Scorpio. So, Scorpios, she's yours. She's one of y'all's. She's one of y'all's. Okay, so she was born in the little town in Aberdeen. Am I saying that right? Aberdeen?
I think it's Aberdeen.
Aberdeen in Hunter Valley in Newbold. So Barbara Ruffin was Knight's mother. She was married to Jack Ruffin.
David Ruffin.
They had, I think I'm saying their name right. They was married. They had 4 kids together. But Barbara was having an affair with a guy named Ken Knight. This is her husband's best friend and coworker. So this happened. This has to be Kathrine's daddy, because they never said it, but this has to be Kathrine's daddy, because his name is Knight, Ken Knight.
Yeah.
So, but they never really,
same last name as
right.
Another kid.
So,
duh.
So she ends up. I'm tired. I just got off of work. So Barbara
I just got off work and I did a head. I braided a whole head.
So, she ends up leaving Jack for Ken. And Kathrine and her mom never really had a good relationship, like, at all. So, a prime example, she comes to her mom and she was like, Mom, my boyfriend is trying to pressure me into do this sex act that I don't want to do. And the mom clearly told her to deal with it and stop complaining. Get on with it. It doesn't matter.
Sometimes what you do, your actions do dictate your child's future.
I mean, basically you tell them, like, just deal with the shit. Like,
okay, let's get to the juicy stuff.
Okay, so her relationship, the only person she was ever close to was her uncle, Oscar Knight, but he ended up killing himself.
Unaliving himself.
Am I allowed to do that? It's like,
I don't know.
Anyway,
he unalived
himself in 1969. So so she became a loner in high school. Her friends described her as being a bully. She liked to intimidate younger kids. But then on the other hand, she was actually very good at school. She was good
at school. She was just an asshole.
She would receive me. As long as she wasn't angry, she was good. But she just had a very bad anger issue. So, but she ended up, even though she did good at school, she didn't finish school. She ended up leaving school in the 8th grade. Then she started working at this clothes factory. She only worked there a
That's
year.
crazy that back then you could be.
Yeah,
you could just
be like,
school. Like, I want to go to school. I'm going to work, and I'm only 13.
I only finished school in the 6th grade. Let's go to work. Like,
that's crazy.
A parent will go to jail if the kid doesn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway, so she left and then she got her dream job. And her dream job was cutting up organs at a butcher shop. So she got her own little set of knives. She got promoted to deboner, so she was able to
how to work her way around that meat.
And she got her own.
She knew what to do with some meat.
She got her own knives. She hung these knives on the wall above her bed, and she said they'll always be there if she needs them. So in 1986, Knight and Kellett finally stopped seeing each other. He just was over it. She was over it. It was done. She met this miner named David. For a few months, he moved in with her and her daughters, but he still kept his own spot, right? And she didn't like this because she got jealous of what is he doing when he's not with me.
She was a very
when he's not with me, what's he doing? So what she would
even
do,
if they weren't cheating, she was saying it was cheating.
So what she would do, she kicked him out, and then when he would leave to go back to his apartment, she would follow him, screaming, "Come back home."
Can we say toxic?
After she kicked him out. So one day, to prove a point what she would do to him if he would ever leave her, she took his puppy and slit the puppy's throat in front of him.
Poor puppy. Poor little ting ting.
That's just... Then she proceeded to knock him out with a frying pan.
I told y'all she liked the frying pan.
After she killed his dog. She hit him in the head with a frying pan.
You said dog like an old sibling. You talk like you're from like somewhere else. Like,
oh my
we
God.
live in the suburbs, y'all. I don't know why she talk like a southerner.
So after that, they ended up having a daughter.
In
1988.
California.
So that's a total of 3 kids so far. So she had 2.
Oh, she had one by him?
Yeah, she had 2 daughters by Kellett. Now she got this one daughter by David. So David's like, okay, our family's expanding. Let's get a house. Knight decorates her house with rusty animal traps, machetes, racks, pitchforks, leather jackets, animal skin, skulls, and horns.
And taxidermy. Taxidermy?
Yes, to decorate her house. Some months later, David moved. Dave was over. Dave's like, I'm moving back to my own apartment. I can't deal with you. You're violent. What she did, she hit him in the face with an iron and stabbed him in the belly with a pair of scissors.
She still didn't go to jail.
No, they're not. She's not going to jail for this. They're not pressing charges. They're not calling the cops. They're not. Because, you know, like, oh, you letting a woman hit you? Like, she's hitting them with skillets and stuff. She's whatever. So after David's like, he was like, I'm over it. So she started dating this minor guy. And then she got pregnant with her son for the first time. So that's 4 kids.
She has a kid with John?
No. This is with David. This is before she met John. So she was having an affair on this
David.
minor. No, she left David. This is a random minor. He didn't even say his name. She had a son with him. She was having an affair with John. This whole time she was with this minor. So then she finally...
This minor was a secret.
I guess it didn't say his name. Maybe his name wasn't...
Yeah, I don't remember her knowing about the minor.
So she ends up getting... So she finally leaves him and she gets with Pierce. So Pierce has 3 children of his own when he gets with Knight. So Pierce was born April 14th, 1995, making him an Aries.
Hey.
You an Aries? I just want to Aries. So so his marriage ended in 1988. Everybody says he was a terrific bloke. That's all I get. They're from Australia.
Tyler coming to do some stupid shit.
What?
She's like, why'd you have to say that?
Okay,
They said she has some chips.
I don't care. So, sorry for the interruptions. So everybody said he was a good bloke. Everybody liked him. So out of his 3 children,
say opposites attract.
yeah. So the 2-year-old, the youngest one, she lived with the mama, and he had the 2 older girls. So they all moved in together. Knight,
into John's house.
yeah, to John's house.
But Knight still had her house.
Yes.
And they all moved in together, but she still kept her house. And it looked creepy.
Yeah. So he knew about her past of violence with other men. I guess
everybody in the town knew.
I guess he felt like I can change her.
And nobody else in the town was fucking with her. Nobody was fucking with her.
Okay.
And she was starting to get ugly, they said. Her looks were leaving her.
I don't think she ever had none. But anyways, I've seen younger pictures too. So Knight and Pierce, they got in this huge fight because Pierce won't marry Knight. Pierce don't want to marry her. I don't know if he didn't want to just marry her or he just didn't want to get married in general. So what she decided to do, she records, takes a video of these items that she believes that he stolen from his job, right? So she takes a recording, she sends it to the boss, and he loses his job that he's been with for 17 years. And this shit was just old stuff that he found.
It was expired first aid kits.
Yeah,
that they were gonna throw away.
It was that he didn't, but he got fired. They let him go. She did that shit because he wasn't married. That same day, Pierce was like, "You out. I'm kicking you out. I can't deal with you." A few months later, they started dating again. So, but he wouldn't let her live with him. He was like, "We can date and all, but you can't live with me." This caused more fights. More fights, more violence. He lost all of his friends. His friends like, "I'm not hanging out with you."
Because you keep going back to her.
Yeah, like, and then
so
when you're,
like,
when you're with her, it's just, we just can't do. I just can't be a friend anymore. So after a series of assaults, Pierce had enough. He kicked her out the house. He goes and stops by the, I don't know what they call it in Australia, the courthouse.
I'm gonna call it the Ministry of Magic. They said it's the magistrate, but it's the Ministry of Magic in my eyes. He tell them everything.
He went there, filed a restraining order, and the effort to keep her away from him and his kids. But when Pierce got to work, he told his coworker, "If anything happens to me, if I don't show up to work the next day."
He said, if you wake up, you see my truck in the driveway?
Yeah, and
call 911, she killed me.
She killed me. If something happened to me, she's responsible. The employees were like, "Don't go home. Like, don't." He was like, "I'm afraid if I don't, she'll kill my kids." So, because even, I don't know. Even though that, it says, like, some of what I read that Knight sent the kids away to a babysitter.
And he didn't know it.
And he didn't know it. So, when he gets home, he doesn't go straight home. He just goes to the neighbors. He stays over there for the evening, drinking and whatever. And
he
then
had battered man syndrome.
He had, yes.
Men can be abused too. Men can be figures of domestic violence.
Messing with her. So he comes home.
Johnny Depp tried to tell you.
And then he comes. No. Then he comes home. Girl, bye. He comes home and goes to bed. By 11 o'clock, Pierce comes home and Knight's asleep. She stays in the living room, watches TV a little bit, goes back, takes a shower, goes back, wakes him up, and they have sex. And then after they have sex,
she tear his ass up.
He falls back asleep. This when Knight begins to stab him while he's sleeping. So according to the blood trail, he gets up while she's stabbing him. He runs and tries to turn on the light switch.
There's blood all over the wall.
Goes towards the hallway and makes it almost to the goddamn front door.
But as he's walking, he's coughing up blood. Yes, it's like blood splattered. She's still stabbing him.
He gets to the front door, opens it, and then passes out. And he dies. He dies of blood loss. So after this happens, Knight goes into town, takes out $1,000 from his bank account, and then comes back home. Nobody knows where's his money at. What she did with the money. Did she bury the money? Oh my God! Did she pay? If y'all don't stop. I'm sorry. We're sorry. No, Kyla. So nobody knows where this money went. Nobody knows what happened to this money. I don't even know why I'm telling you about this money, but this is what she did.
They took the shit to me.
So when she got back to the house, this when she starts to skin him. So she skins him and she hangs his skin on meat hooks and she hangs it like right by the front door. Like it's a freaking curtain.
Like it's a curtain.
A skin curtain. Then she goes on to cut his head off and put his head in a pot on the stove.
And boil it
with onions and bell peppers and cabbage
making heads
and
too.
zucchini and all that other stuff. So then she continues to make plates.
She cut his gluteus maximus.
Yes.
Y'all know what that is? She literally cut his ass up.
She cooked him. She made a stew, basically.
She made his butt cheeks look like steaks.
And then she did in that picture.
She
and
did.
Then she wrote a note with his daughter's names on it.
Their dinner.
And one plate, there was another plate that was made. She made, 5 plates? 3 plates?
No, it was 2 plates.
She made 3. They found one thrown.
Oh, yeah, she threw one, yeah.
So they're thinking she tried to eat it.
And
then she couldn't eat it. And then she threw it in the back. That's what they're speculating. So then the neighbor wakes up, this happens on that one night. The next morning, the neighbors wake up 6 a.m. His truck is sitting out.
So they do a welfare check.
So, and then when he doesn't show up at work, his employer calls the cops and says, can you go over and check? So, no, he sends another employee over there. So the employee and the neighbor goes and looks. And when they see blood on the front door, they're like, yeah, we calling the cops. So when the cops go in there, they just walk. The cop walks and he sees something hanging when he goes in. So he's thinking it's a curtain. He doesn't know what it is.
He said he feels like cold falling on his arm.
Yeah, so he moves it around and he looks down and he's covered in blood.
Because he moved the meat.
And he still doesn't know what it is yet. And then when he really pays it's freaking skin. Mm-hmm. Then they walk into the kitchen. That's when they see his head in the pot. That's when they see the plates.
They see the plates.
So they're looking for...
But this the crazy thing. They said it didn't smell like death, like normal. It smelled sweet and good.
Because she was cooking.
So all of them are like freaked out now because they're like, how does human flesh smell good?
Yeah.
So like she literally made a stew and it was smelling like, it didn't smell like death.
She put all kind of vegetables, like seasoned it. Because if you season human meat, it ain't going to smell like, if you cook it right.
And yeah, they were just
it's not going to smell. It only smells like death when it starts to decompose. But if you cook it...
But they said the scene that it was.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have smelled good like that.
That meat, that hanging skin.
Yeah. So, and there was like a massacre everywhere. There
was blood all over the wall. Yeah. So they went around the house looking for her and they found her. She was in the bed. She took a whole bunch of pills. So we're thinking she
tried to overdose.
Unalive herself.
Unalive herself, yeah.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't work. So
she's playing dumb. She's playing like she don't know what happened. She's not saying she didn't do it.
She's
just saying she don't remember it. She never once said, I didn't do this. She just says that I don't remember. So on March 2nd, 2001, she was accused of killing Pierce. The trial was originally supposed to be on July 23rd, 2001, but it got postponed because her lawyer got sick. So 60 members, it had to be about 20 of the 60 members that were going to be in the trial. They didn't want to do it. They were like, can we please be dismissed, because they didn't want to look at because when you're in trial, you gotta look at the pictures. They just did not want to deal with that scene. And then they had people on their witness list. They backed off. There's I don't want to do it. So the next day, Kathrine she changes her not guilty plea to guilty.
But at first she was saying she's not guilty because he beat her.
Yeah.
But they pulled up her track record. It was like, ain't nobody beat you. You beat every man you was with.
Yes, you have.
Every man you was with said you beat the hell out of them. So, miss me with that. So, she tried to pull her not guilty plea so she could try to do the insanity.
Yeah.
But the judge was like, two-step the minister of magic, because that's what he looked like. He said, I'm about to have you evaluated by not 1, not 2, but 3 psychologists. Yeah. So, you can't say later, oh, I was crazy. Yeah, and get out of your sentence.
And she never once admitted to doing it. Even after she got pleaded guilty, she never once admitted. She keeps saying she don't remember. Mm-hmm. So November 8th, the harshest punishment, she got life without a possibility of parole with this because due to the crime. And this is the first time in Australian history that a woman had been given a life sentence.
But during the trial, she was wilding. Like when she was telling. They was telling what happened. Yeah. She was rocking back and forth and screaming.
And they're showing a picture of what she did. And she's falling out.
Falling all out.
Lady,
she played a part. You know who she looked like? If y'all know who Aileen Warwick is, she kind of looked like her. Eileen Warwick. Yeah.
Oh, Eileen Warwick.
Yeah. She looks like her.
Who's Eileen Warwick?
The serial killer girl.
Oh, she don't look like her.
Yes, she do.
Maybe.
She do look like her.
A little bit. You talking about like her in the monster in the movie?
Yes.
I see
That lady looked like
I
her.
kinda see it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for the little video all over the place.
Y'all liked it. I act like y'all did.
So, if you guys enjoyed this video and other videos like it, like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next video. It didn't even turn off.